The following podcast is brought to you by Astro Panda Productions. For more information or to find other great shows, visit astropandaproductions.com or visit the Astro Panda Productions page on blogtalkradio.com.
Welcome.
Welcome to the Gaming with Scissors podcast.
I love it!
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Gaming with Scissors podcast. I'm your host, Nitro Weasel 3K, and before we do anything else, I'm going to need a moment of silence from my fellow podcast host. Does anybody want to know why we need a moment of silence?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, future Nitro Weasel, start playing sad songs right here. Play some sad songs behind this part. Guys, R.I.P. in peace. Sketchy basement game store that we went into and shot and I almost got killed in.
What?
Yeah, sign is down. Drove past the other day. No more sign. There's just a sign there that says they do glass block now.
Well, granted, closing the store just involves cleaning up the basement.
Really, it just means that really they just needed to take the 4 screws that were holding that sign up down. It wasn't even cleaning up the basement. That was it.
He's still got all that stuff in the basement.
I can't believe I missed it.
Yeah. I didn't know they were closing. There was no pomp and circumstance. They're just gone.
You were completely let down. You were
I was.
totally like, I want to go in there and buy some overpriced Warhammer stuff.
I want to have a guy with a neck beard talk down to me. That's all I was looking to get into today.
Just neckbeard talk.
Yeah, it was neckbeard 30. So that's sad. It's a sad day. I'm sad.
let down, man.
I agree.
know. Where are we going to go when you come back to Ohio now?
Oh, to that good game store that we went to that had tons and tons of stuff for reasonable prices. I like that.
You mean the actual Games Workshop store?
No, was it Jack Games?
Oh yeah, that dude was cool.
Look at that free plug. Yeah. Oh well, dude, they had Execution Force for like $60, and it's a $150 game. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, we each got a copy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you need to take me there then.
Yeah, dude, we can go over there.
It's
We
legit.
should do that.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's like it looks like if like a really nerdy guy's parents died, and he just carpeted the entire house with some green carpet, and then was like, "This is where we hang out now." And he just smoked too many cigarettes in there because everything kind of has a film on it, but it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke. It's really weird.
You knew it was there though. You're talking about the sad place that's gone.
No, I'm talking about Jack Games. Jack Games is sketchy too.
Well, I said I didn't get that feeling. They were kind of jerks to us when we went in there. Where they just like looked up and then they went back to playing their game of 40K, and then we just kept looking around. And then finally, when we were ready to buy stuff, they decided to talk to us.
To be fair though, if you worked around all that crap all day, you would just be like, "I'm just gonna play with it. I don't care about you."
Well, yeah, I'm sure tons and tons, all the neckbeards that come in all day. I mean, he's just like, "You ain't gonna buy nothing."
Right.
That's all right. I'm all right.
I'm like, you know who this is? I got import money over here. He ain't from this state. So yeah, that's pretty sad. So now that we're 4 minutes in or whatever, I should probably introduce the two of you. I am joined, as always, by the Piper. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good today. It's been a good day.
Did you lose any murder game stores?
No, I got the same great one that I go to all the time, so I don't have to worry about that.
But you are thinking about buying a Murder of Crows, though.
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely I am.
There's new hordes. Hordes?
Yeah, it's Hordes. Grimkin is the army. I've just decided to start playing them. I've never played a game with them. I just think they're super awesome because they're styled after like Brothers Grimm meets like just like a horror movie.
Yeah, they're sweet as hell, and they look like Satans.
Yeah, everyone looks like a melty Satan. Like so far the only one I've actually finished is I don't know what his name is, but he's like a mix between a zombie and a mummy, and he's awesome. He looks super sweet.
Yeah, his like muscle guts are all hanging out.
Yeah, and there's all like bloody and so I did a pretty good job painting it. I'm pretty happy with it. But yeah, there's the murder crows are ones that they just announced are coming out, I think like next week. So they just look like crows with knives, like assassin crows.
Yeah, stabbing crows. This is the stabbing crow cabin.
They're ready to kill everyone.
They're not counting.
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
they're not a bad band.
Good.
Anyway, so yeah, if you want to see Sean's muscles zombie, you should go over to our Instagram page. We're Instagram.com/NerdLifeTX, I believe.
Did I put that on Instagram?
No, but you have to now. Suck it.
All right, I'll take the 4 seconds it takes to take the photo and put it up there.
That's
It
right.
does look good, actually.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. Like it looks all gross, and he looks like he got some color to his wrappings, and he's got like his pink blood goop insides all in there.
He's all
Sweet as
goofy.
hell. So, all right, awesome. And I'm also joined by Nick, aka Zero Ping. What are you up to?
Absolutely nothing. It's
Radical.
beautiful.
Radical. Yeah, Nick gets some time off. Nick and I work together, and our job has been trying to kill both of us.
Yes.
So that's a lot of fun. Nick, I believe Nick worked. We're recording this on an off day because Nick worked 12 hours over the weekend in one day, which would have killed a lesser man.
It's fun.
So yeah. All right, cool. Actually, we have a cool topic this week that was actually sent to us by somebody, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. But just kind of as an opening statement, I want to let everybody know that if you do have a topic that you want us to cover, you don't have to bring it up to us in person or anything like that, because this particular person, I think, met us at Geek Fest. But if you want to just send us a message on whatever social media and be like, oh, you guys should talk about X, Y, or Z, because we're kind of trying to format the show just a little bit differently than we used to. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we kind of transitioned from doing news-related topics to more opinion-related topics, like more opinion-type talks, conversation, speaky good. So I think we want to continue down that road. So if you guys have a topic you want to just hear the two of us blah, blah, blah about for 10, 15 minutes, let us know. We'd be happy to talk about it. So before we get into that, as always, we're going to do what did we do this week in gaming. We're going to start with you, Nicholas. What did you do this week in gaming?
Well, actually, I kind of went back to a bunch of games that either I really enjoyed or I started at some point and never quite finished. First, I guess I did buy the HD collection of Final Fantasy X and X-2 for the PS4.
Okay, you know what? I've never played a Final Fantasy after 8. I think I played.
One that was really anime, like it looked like a cartoon, real cartoony.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
This is the one with Titus and Sin, and it's pretty good. I like the whole summon thing. They did a decent job upscaling it. It didn't seem like, at least from what I can remember of the original game, doesn't seem like much more than just upscaling, running it maybe at a higher frame rate. But
it's not like the original Final Fantasy where there's like 3 spells that just like straight up don't work.
So far, that's not been the case.
Yeah, that's a literal thing. The NES Final Fantasy has, I think, 3 summons that don't work at all. They just don't work.
Nice.
Your guy just falls over dead.
No, like the animation goes off, but nothing happens. There's no statistics behind it.
You just
There's
missed
no numbers.
You needed those numbers.
So you're casting the summons and like nothing happens because there's no stats.
Right? Yeah. There's nothing that's happening behind it. I assume it just wants you to throw a D20 at the screen, which is what I do
regularly.
That's why Sears knows my name. They're like, that guy always break his TVs.
I liked 10. I never played 10-2 because it seems stupid to me.
Yeah, the whole dresses thing.
I was not interested. It's just like ladies of Final Fantasy, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'll leave the room.
and yet Sean and I are freaking the hell out about the Mae Young Classic. We will watch tough ladies beat the shit out of each other all day long.
I need to see fancy dresses though. That's
Yeah.
That's what I draw the line.
Well, I mean, as long as they're fancy dresses on wrestler ladies.
Yeah, that's different.
If they can bench press a car, if they want to wear a fancy dress, then we're all in. We'll give
I'm
you
done.
$9 a month to watch that.
Absolutely.
Talking about the WWE network, not like some weird porno thing, by the way.
It might
I
be.
feel, after it came out of my mouth, I was like, that just fell out of my mouth weird. I should probably clarify.
Whoa.
That kind of came out of your mouth weird too. But
It's
It
fine.
just fell out.
Fell out. All the words just fall out of my face. All right, cool. So you played some FF10.
yes,
Did you beat it?
not yet.
You're not gonna, are you?
No, I'm
Hey, Nick.
going to
Hey, Nick.
actually.
Hey Nick.
Yeah.
Hey Nick. Have you beat a single game since we started this podcast?
Oh yeah, yeah. I have. Actually, one of the games I played just recently, I beat one of the games I was about to mention.
Was it The Last of Us?
No.
You still owe me an opinion on The Last of Us. Okay, if you're out there listening to this right now and you enjoy The Last of Us, for the love of God, talk to me about it. Nobody wants to talk to me about The Last of Us. Everybody's
You
like,
know,
shut up, old man.
I bought a copy of that for the Musselford, and he still hasn't even put it in. So
You should beat him for it.
just calling him out.
That's because he's too busy driving cars into balls or whatever.
What?
Yeah, he's on into Rocket League.
Yeah, very, very
Oh,
true.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's super into Rocket League, man.
Yeah,
It's a nightly thing.
I've tried to play it. I'm just not good at it, so I don't like it.
Sean doesn't like anything he's not good at.
I don't like things I'm not good at. No, that's true though. I mean, do you like things you suck at? No.
Yeah, every game that you and I play together, I'm like mediocre at best. I'm the C+ student of every game we play.
Dark Souls.
They're like, congratulations, you're mediocre.
You tried.
you tried. Got to do what you got to do. Yeah, no, I don't know why. I don't really care if I'm bad at it as long as I'm having a good time, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Dark Souls. You said Dark Souls?
Dark Souls. Well, I'm not playing it. I'm just saying that's a game I'm bad at, but I enjoy.
Nobody's good at that game.
Exactly.
They're so
They
crazy
didn't design that
people
game
are.
to be able to be good at.
Do you even praise, bro?
Stop. No, I'm not a fan.
I don't know anything y'all are talking about. So cool.
You love it. All
Cool.
the From Software games.
Yes.
All right. I don't know.
You just remind me of something else I got to put on my list too. So
Did you play some Bloodborne?
No, I did play a From Software game though. Well, we'll get to it. We
All
will
right.
get to it, sir.
All right.
What else did you play?
I did go back and play a little bit of the original Dark 3. You guys ever play that?
No,
No.
Don't think so.
Oh, so you play as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? You play as War?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fun. I like it. It's got a very comic book visual because it was put together by, I can't remember his name offhand, but it was a illustrator.
Was it an illustrator?
Shoot, I can't remember his name.
Was it Adobe? Adobe Illustrator?
You failed us, sir.
Oh, do you remember?
Nope. I don't know things.
Was it Picasso?
Darksiders is a good game. I've played like the first maybe like hour of the first game, and then I never wanted to play the second game until I beat the first game, but I never beat
Yeah.
the first game. So
Isn't it just kind of like a Dawn of War clone? I've never played it. So
it is more like a God of War is what you mean?
yeah, God of War. I'm sorry. Yeah.
It is pretty much God of War.
Yeah.
If you like that, it's really good.
I do like God of War. I get bored of it after a while because once you see everything, you're just like, oh, seen that. Look, there's some big old movies.
I really liked the PSP God of War games. Chains of Olympus. They are the best, in my opinion, the best versions of God of War. Chains of Olympus is like, I don't finish games. You know that.
Right.
Like, I'll play a game until I'm content, and then I'll move on. That's why I have like 800 games in Steam that I haven't played. Because I'll install it and be like, "That's cool." Next game. I have game like ADD, and so anyway, I actually sat through like I think because I could lay in bed, Well, and my wife's watching like a movie or a TV or something like that. I can lay in bed and play it, and then when I'm done, I put it down, and it's an easy pickup game, and I loved it, man. I think it was better than others, which I haven't played the newer games yet, like the PS4 one.
Right.
Okay.
I'm kind of excited for the Viking
The Dad of War.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Padre of War.
It's just he just looks like a dad.
Yeah. It's just my dad.
It's
My
just
dad. It's just my dad. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm a sweet Viking. Everyone's dead.
Nice.
I'm a swing axes. I'm gonna axe you a question in the face.
just murder.
Murder. Okay. Well, that's fun. Yeah. No, I've never played any of the Darksiders games. It's not that they didn't intrigue me. It's just I vaguely remember. I never play anything when it's new. Rarely do I play anything when it's new. The only time I do is like if Sean and I are like, okay, we make a conscious decision. We're going to play whatever when it comes out. So a good example is I think Sean and I are talking. We're still in negotiations about whether or not we're going to play Destiny 2. Sean says he's going to play it. I don't know if I'm going to be joining him or not, but if I do decide to join in, it'll be while it's still new because that's when everybody else will be playing it.
Oh yeah.
With the exception of games like that, I don't usually play games when they're new. So I think I had just started playing God of War when Darksiders came out, and I was like, oh, I've seen this already. Like I'm good. I've already got this game. So I think that's why I never played it. It wasn't that it didn't interest me. It's just that for me, I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
Right. That's understandable.
Yeah, it's a completely different setting and whatnot, but yeah, pretty much gameplay wise, it is a God of War game. But It's good. It's good. It's really well done. I'm actually probably enjoying it more than I've enjoyed a God of War, but I have not played all of those. I played the first PSP one. I never did beat it. And I played God of War 1 on PS2, which I did beat. And I played some of God of War 2, but I never beat that either.
Well, son, you got to work in PSP now. You go back and pay that one for PSP. That's
true.
PSP games are coming down in price. They're relatively inexpensive right now.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to get them if you're going to ever collect them. That's for sure.
All right, cool. What else do you play?
Played and beat Dead Space. I don't know if you guys have ever played the original Dead Space. Yeah, it's amazing.
The original Dead Space gives me the same ooky spooky feelings that I got the first time I played Resident Evil. Now, granted, I played Resident Evil in like 96 or whatever. Okay. So, I was there wasn't shit out there like that. And the zombies weren't on television. We didn't have no Walking Dead on TV. I wasn't seeing some guy get his face smashed in with a shovel every week, in 1996. So, and being somebody who grew up and was super interested in the monster movies, including zombies, watching Night of the Living Dead and stuff, and then seeing that, my mind was blown. And the only game that's ever come close to rekindling that up until obviously The Last of Us was Dead Space. That feeling of just being alone and like kind of just being creeped out. Oh, yeah. You can feel the hairs on your arms stand up if you play it in a dark room with headphones on. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Well, fun fact, like probably my favorite franchise of all time, taken in a whole, has been Silent Hill, the Silent Hill series.
Oh, those are so good. I do. I have a special place in my heart for the original Silent Hill.
Me too. I played it, and it was a one-shot, straight-through burn. Had a couple of friends over. We ordered some pizza, bought it cheap, used. I had no clue what it was even about. Started playing it, and I was hooked. And I literally sat there and played it until I beat it. One sitting. And
dude, the three of us need to do that. We need to just be teenagers for one night again. We're just gonna get pizza and we can just get beer and we're just gonna live stream us just playing the shit games for just 24 hours straight. That would be sweet.
Oh, dude, it was amazing. It was like it had to be like an 8 or 9 hour burn, but it was awesome. And then when 2 came out, that I didn't think that 2 was ever gonna amount to anything comparing it to 1, but 2 came out and just opened up in ways that I did not expect that game could, to be honest.
What's interesting about that is that 2, I feel like 2 is the highly and widely regarded best one of all of them. People freak out about 2. I still like 1 better. I don't know why. 2 looks prettier. It does everything right. It doesn't do anything wrong. Just something about 1. I think I just have a really strong affinity for the PlayStation 1. That was the first console I ever bought on my own. I like mowed lawns and saved money forever to buy that console, and I think that's why I have such a strong affinity for the PS1 because that was mine. That I worked for it, And every game that I had, everything I saved up money. I scrounged and scrimped and saved and did odd jobs and that kind of stuff to earn the money to buy the games I had. So I think that's more of a personal preference just from that perspective. But for some reason, I just always have these really fond memories of the first Silent Hill and almost none of Silent Hill 2.
Okay, so for Silent Hill 1, that one still is my favorite Silent Hill. But 2 surprised me because it probably is technically the better game if you just approach it as what it is, as a complete package. It probably is the better game. But Silent Hill 1, how can you not get the feels of oh my God, I'm stuck in this town. I'm looking for my daughter. Any male with any sort of parental instinct at all probably would understand that drive, I guess. And there's just the fact that it throws you in all those unfamiliar environments, and it was the first time, and it was so quiet. There really wasn't any music when you're running through town. You just hear his footsteps, and you hear the creatures and the radio. And the radio, yeah.
That horrible awesome pitch that it makes. You're just nope. Running up and down the street trying to open every door on every house.
Yes. That ringing noise the radio makes, the fog itself, you could barely see a foot in front of yourself.
I actually like the first Silent Hill movie too for that exact same reason. Which is weird.
Yeah, they did a good job with that.
I'm aware that that's a terrible movie. I just still like it. The second one is god awful. Second one is absolute trash.
Here's a fun fact. I have never played a single Silent Hill game.
Dude!
Ever.
Wow. Yeah,
Ever.
that needs to change.
Yeah, for real.
I don't know why. It just never seemed like I haven't played a lot of horror games because I just really haven't cared about them. I don't know why.
I don't know how to describe your taste in games, but see, I like horror games. That's my jam. If I could play if you would take every other type of game away, I would be just fine if I just had horror games.
Yeah,
because it's such a big genre. It covers so many different types of games.
You have your sci-fi ones. You have your I'm stuck Lovecraftian one. Stuck in a little town or whatever.
Or a text-based adventure game that'll screw you over when the window closes. Progress.
True story.
Damn it.
Yeah, but Silent Hill just as a series in general, so going back to the movies real quick, sorry to gush on this, but Silent Hill 1, the movie, that did a really good job of kind of capturing the feel of Silent Hill 1, the game, whereas the second movie really captured and covered a lot of the topics that were more in the third, a little bit of the second game and a lot of the third game, because it covered Heather. I don't want to say too much about that because there's some spoilers involved with who she is and all that. But yeah, if Matt, if you've never actually played Silent Hill 3, you probably lost out on a lot of that.
I just didn't like the production of it.
Okay.
I thought it was kind of cheesy and lame. I don't know why. I just didn't like it.
It felt like a Resident Evil movie as far as
Yeah, but I love the Resident Evil movies mainly because Mila Jovovich is life.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Okay, Resident
Lilo
Evil
Dallas
movies.
Multipass? Lilo Dallas Multipass.
I am 100% aware that the Resident Evil movies are terrible, but they're the type of terrible movie you want to own and pop in your DVD player on a Sunday when you ain't got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I think I own all. I think my wife and I watched all of them in one weekend. And I own all of them just because she's just that was okay. This is watching.
Yeah.
Because you can't say anything more than that was okay. That was
it's kind of a comfort movie for me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll pop it in and then it's just there. But anyhow, back to Dead Space. Dead Space is fun. It definitely gives you those horror elements. There's a lot of jump scares and stuff, but really it's about the atmosphere and like going back to the Hitchcock thing. Like you don't always see the thing that is there, and sometimes your imagination will play up in ways that no game developer is going to know how to scare you otherwise. So I think it does that pretty good also. And it's weird with like the whole kind of culty thing.
Because cults is sweet. So, Sean, we didn't tell you this story yet. This is going to be a side tangent again. So if you listen to the podcast, this is Side Tangent Cast.
Number 45 this episode?
With Sean and Nick. Yeah. That's Sean, Matt, and Nick. So at work, they took these pictures because they're making us like a fancy job board. It's for whatever reason. We have to like write up there what we're accomplishing or what we're working on, whatever. And they came around and took all our pictures. Well, I was like, it was a bad day when they came around and took our pictures already. Like our phone system was down. Like Nick and I were trying to get on a phone call for something. And like the lady came in and like take my picture. And I was like, no. She's like, you're not gonna smile. I'm like, no, just take the picture, please. Like just take it. So she takes the picture and they put it up on the board. Well, I didn't really look at the picture. And apparently my boss and Nick were there over the weekend, and they decided that this picture is my Charles Manson photo.
Oh, it totally is.
So because apparently I looked thoroughly unhappy and just homeless in it. So that's my cult photo. Mm-hmm. So we were talking to a couple of the other salespeople about it. So now the one lady just refers to me as Charlie. She's like, "Hey, Charlie, can you come and look at this?" And I'm just like, "God damn it!" So now I have to start a cult. Yeah, it's pretty much that's how that works. If somebody says you look like Charles Manson, you own a cult.
Well, we also work with Dahmer, so
yeah. Remember this guy who really creeps me out? Like he's super weird. He's always like in the bathroom at the same time you are, and he's just like he just breathes. He's like one of those guys that breathes real heavy through his nose, and it's weird. And he's got these big old thick Coke bottle glasses, and you're just like, don't touch me.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
he's gonna start rubbing your hands. He just started talking about putting the lotion in the basket.
Bathroom?
Something weird. I don't know. So, so that's fun. Okay. So is that all you played this week?
Yeah, pretty much. I did discover one kind of neat thing I wanted to bring up, though. For anyone who has any of the modern consoles, I wasn't actually aware that you could just hook them up via USB to your PC. If you have Windows 10, no drivers involved. I figured there'd be a little bit of setup. But you can plug in a PS4 or an Xbox One controller directly into a PC, and you got yourself a nice controller.
You didn't know that?
No. So,
what world do you live in?
Okay, so...
Like, honestly.
I've been using my 360 controller because, for the 360, you had to get that little adapter to use wireless ones.
Well, right? I always used a wired one because I intentionally bought a wired one for my computer.
Yeah, well, understand. I got the wireless dongle so I could use my existing 360 controller.
Okay.
And then I remember when the Xbox One S came out, they were like, oh, and you can hook it up via Bluetooth to your PC, which you couldn't do with the original controller. Well, I didn't even realize that. I figured you could plug it in and install some driver from the Windows Store or whatever to get the Xbox One controller working. But I just plugged it in to charge it one day, and lo and behold, it just worked out of the box. No drivers installed, and I did not realize that.
Because I remember back in the day, didn't the 360 controller had some shit when you were when it was a wireless controller? If you plugged the charging port in, it would wig the hell out. Yeah,
when it first came out, when XP was out, it was this huge ordeal. You had to download the drivers and all this other stuff, and I remember there was something to do with you had to configure the analog sticks in the control panel, I think. But yeah, with my PS4 controller, I was looking up how to hook that up, and they're like, oh, you download the software, and you could hook it up through Bluetooth and all this other garbage. I didn't realize if you just plugged it in, though, you're good to go. Apparently you are.
That's kind of sweet. I had tried a PS3 controller one time. That was a nightmare. So I gave up on that pretty quick. But that's cool to know that apparently PS4 controllers can do that as well.
Yeah. I bought one of the Sony 20th anniversary controllers.
Yeah, the sweet gray ones.
Yeah.
Dude, I have that. That's my favorite controller.
Yeah, mine too now, actually. But yeah, I'm using that on my PC. Love it.
That's sweet. Actually, it's my second favorite controller. My afterglow will never die. We'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
I don't care. Everybody can make fun of me all they want. I love my controller. Like I baby it. I cuddle it like a child.
Sleep with it at night.
I sleep with it. I sleep with it under my pillow. I just have a machete and that, and you don't get close or I'll swing it at you. I'm a Jason Voorhees. Okay, cool. So we're gonna take a really quick break, and then when we come back, Sean and I will tell you what kind of garbage we played. Hang on.
Napa know-how. The Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolored paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 500,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how.
Okay, Kevin, for the grand prize of $1 million. What color is the White House?
I know this.
5 seconds.
Oh, switching to Geico could save you a bunch of money on car insurance?
Okay. Judges? That's true, Kevin. They'll allow it. Congratulations. You're a winner.
Woo!
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
We are back. All right. Jonathan Piper, what did you play?
Oh, what did I play? So I'm not going to talk about the stuff that we played together. I'm going to let you handle that. But so what have I played? First thing I played was I don't know how to pronounce this. Nidhogg? Is that how you pronounce the game?
Yeah.
Nidhogg 2? Okay. So I got this game with the intentions to review it. And, the developer sent it over or whatever. And I fired it up. I started playing it. And it's pretty neat. I was kind of disappointed. Like, I really liked the first game. The first game was really minimal. And it had a really, like, I don't know, it was a neat kind of feel. It didn't feel like any other game that I'd ever played before. But it's all about, like, fencing.
Isn't it super stylistic though? Like it's really minimal, but the fighting feels really smooth and stylish.
The first game, yes, that's how it feels. The second game, it's a totally different game, and I don't know. I hadn't played the first game before. I just seen it and thought it was really cool. I don't know if there's like multiple weapons in the first game, but in the second game, there's all different. Like you can get like a fencing sword, you can get like an axe, you can get a broadsword, you can get a bow and arrow. And there's something else you can get. Daggers. You can get daggers. And you can throw any of the weapons at any time. And the whole goal is to run from the left side of the screen, from your side of the screen. And you have to go through so many basically doors on the right-hand side until you get to the last screen. And then you beat the level. Okay. And then the other person is supposed to oppose you and kill you. And then once they kill you and they move past your body, then they take control and they're trying to get, basically it's attack and defense kind of thing.
So it's kind of like Prince of Persia if it was multiplayer, the original Prince of Persia.
Sort of, yeah. Except you don't have it's more of a platformer.
Okay, when the way you're describing it, it reminds me of. Did anybody play those like shitty Stickman action flash games like in the 2000s?
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of. Those ones where it's like Stick Mayhem, and you'd you could like use your mouse to aim, and it would go in a circle. And
like Stick Wars.
Throw your weapons. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
No. This, kind of like that, but they took away that like stylistic, really neat look to it, and they just slapped on some like generic, gross looking orc zombie like drawings.
But the original ones, those look like that end player.
Right? Yeah.
Pretty much.
The original one, they look they're just black.
Okay.
Like just black silhouettes. Black silhouettes. Dark silhouettes. All right. I beat this game in like 15 minutes.
Yikes.
Oh, wow.
The whole single player and I'm guessing that this is supposed to be like a multiplayer thing, which is fine and all, but I shouldn't be able to, if you're going to put a single player campaign in a game, I shouldn't be able to blow through it in less time than it takes to make like mashed potatoes. Like, honestly, and it's a $15 game.
Yikes!
It's like I paid. I didn't pay anything, but I would have paid $1 a minute for this game.
Wow.
Like it's a phone line, and there's no boss.
Like a 900 number.
Yeah, exactly. It might as well be calling like 900 number.
But you don't get any of the joy of the 900 number.
No, I don't. All I get was creepy worms eating me. And I guess this would be a cool like party game, with your friends or whatever. And it's crazy. It has very positive reviews on Steam, so it's like 80 or above, whatever. I just don't get it.
That might just be because people really like the first one, and stylistically it is similar, right?
Well, gameplay wise, no, the style is totally. It's like the complete other direction. Like it's more like
maybe everyone's just playing multiplayer.
Maybe maybe the multiplayer is really good, but again, it's probably something that would be fun to do, like at a LAN party, or like us, we're going to stream it. But again, in a stream, I could only do this for so long before I got bored.
So is the multiplayer online or is it couch co-op?
I think there's both.
Oh, okay. I'll say because if you were like, oh, it's couch co-op, then I could kind of see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it has multiplayer and online multiplayer and local multiplayer. That's what it lists on Steam. It's local multiplayer and online with shared split screen.
Well, how long does it take to beat Broforce if you're just playing it straight through?
Broforce is a pretty big game, man.
Yeah, that takes a while, man.
I would say good like 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was shorter than that.
No, well, I mean, it depends on what difficulty you have it on. You have it on like super easy, you could probably blow through it in a couple hours. But this game, I put it on hard. I played it through on hard because I was like, oh, I want a challenge. It was not hard at all. Like this is not a difficult game, and I would be fine if this was like a $5 game on Steam because there's plenty of really good games that are super like dirt cheap.
Right.
No, not this. Like I was very surprised at what I got.
Is it made by a small like an indie dev team, or is that like a okay? I was gonna say because if it was like somebody's side project
Microsoft.
or something. Yeah. Well, no, you know what I mean.
No, I know. I know what you're saying.
There are those teams that are just like a spin-off of a major team that put stuff out like that, and you're just kind of like, come on, guys, go ahead and step up your game. Right?
No, the developer's called Messhoff, and they've made a few. They've made Nidhogg, Nidhogg 2, and Fly Wrench. And Fly Wrench was like a $7 game. Nidhogg was $10, and this one's $15.
I think Nidhogg is the only one I'm aware of.
Yeah, I own Fly Wrench, I think, or I've played it, one of the two. But I don't really know anything about it. But I mean, yeah, it's a fun game. It's playable. It's done really well. It's just super short, and it did not hold my attention.
Right.
So I never beat games. I never ever beat games, and I beat this one.
Yeah, I don't think I have so many things that I'm supposed to beat right now. Just as an aside, so remember I was talking about how I was playing. Oh God, what's it called? The one where you're like delivering pizzas and stuff.
Paperboy.
Yeah, Paperboy. No. So, oh God, the one with like the Japanese mobster.
Yakuza.
Yeah, Yakuza. So it's playing Yakuza 0, right? And I went online, ordered the first one. I'm still knee deep in Yakuza 0, and now I have 1 and 2 in the HD versions that just came out on PS4, and they're just sitting in my living room, just unopened.
You're never gonna play those.
Yeah, because I'm just like, God damn it! I have so many things. Well, I'm so bad about it, but it was like $29. So really. Yeah.
Why not?
In my brain, it was supposed to be. I think it's a limited edition release. So, I'm sure once it's gone, it'll be so expensive. But it'll be like 2 years from now. I'll be like, guys, I played this really great game. It'll be like, dude, you were talking about it 2 years ago. Shut your mouth. We know that's been sitting on your counter for 2 years. We know it.
I probably just did the same thing. I got that Torment Tides of Numeria.
Yeah.
But I got it for PS4. I got the Day One edition because it came with a soundtrack and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably going to sit on my shelf for a little bit too.
Yeah,
forever and ever.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So yeah, I played that, and then we played together a game called This Is the Police.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love this game. This is so much fun. I'm gonna go back. This is when I'm actually gonna go back and play through it, and separate from us doing. I'll start a new game or whatever. But
because we probably screwed you over.
Yeah, totally. So Nick, do you know what this game is?
No, I don't know anything about it.
All right, so I love management games for this comes way back. Like I remember playing like Sim Theme Park on I think it was probably like the NES, like the way back, and then I played on any game that's like you get to build something and manage it. I love it. Like Theme Hospital is one of my all-time favorite games, just because it's real goofy and campy, but it's just like a brilliant game. Any of those like Bullfrog Software games,
Maxis.
Yeah, any of the Maxis games. Populous is an amazing game. You know, I love like Black and White. I even like Black and White too, even though everybody like shits on that. I like it.
Peter Molyneux.
You know what? That was before Peter Molyneux was just like a garbage person. When his games are actually decent. I even bought Goddess. I didn't think it was going to be great, and I haven't played it since it was in like super early beta. But all those games.
Let's say, did that ever actually even come out?
They started working on like Goddess War or something like that, which was like a it's the same game, but it's like has multiplayer in it. I didn't bother with it, but
some kind of insane spin-off.
Yeah, it basically is. It's whatever. It's not important. So this is the it reminds me of Papers, Please.
Oh, okay.
In that you have a very in-depth story in between each stage. So like, you know, in Papers, Please, you know, it'll go from being inside your house, you're reading the newspaper, and it's like telling a story. So this is kind of that same concept where you start the stage and you get this video of you're a cop that's being forced out of the police force, and you've been there for, you know, 1,000,000 years, and you have like 180 days, and then you have to retire. And you play through each of these stages where you have a incident that occurs. You have to send a group of police officers to that event, and they do their stuff. And sometimes you'll have to answer questions. Like it'll be like, oh, there's a man walking around with a clown mask on. What do we do? And then you have to tell the cops, oh, shoot at his face. And then they shoot at his face, and then something happens. So that's essentially the game. And there's no action or anything like that. You're literally sitting on a screen, and it shows a map, and little bubbles pop up, and you have to make decisions based on these bubbles. And I love
it's like shoot his dick. Shoot his
exactly.
Dick.
That's what it is. That's the whole game. But it's a brilliant game. It's done really well. I love the art style, and it's challenging. You know, I played it a little bit longer because we did on a live stream like 2 weeks ago, maybe was it like 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it. And Matt, you seem like you were enjoying it too. Not for the actual gameplay aspect, but for the
right, not for the right reasons. Yeah, so there would be things where they're like, we need somebody to come to this club and like work the door. Can we borrow a guy? And I'm like, send Nana, because we get this one little old lady. She was like a senior citizen cop, and her stats were really low. Like she was bad at everything.
The absolute lowest they could be.
Yeah, I'm like, send Nana. And then she just like comes back. She's like, I'm quitting. I'm making all the money over here watching the door. I'm like, oh, Jesus, Nana's going to get stabbed, and it's going to be on us.
Yeah, because each of the police officers, they have like I guess, is it a morality rating?
I don't know. It's like how
good you do.
And then how good they are at their job, how likely they are to succeed if you put them out in the field. And so there's a lot of management where you're trying to figure out based on their stats, like, if you want to send 2 officers, like which 2 do you send? Who do you team up? Who do you not team up? Because there's also events where the bad guy will get away, and that comes back on you later. So you've got to manage the shifts and which officers ride together and which ones don't, and you can't let too many people get away, and it's a whole thing. But yeah, I liked it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
I liked it because I was picking the stupidest people to go on the stupidest jobs.
And as we progressed, there's also like big crimes that happen, like murders, and you have to send detectives on them, and they uncover clues, and then by the end you have to kind of like make a decision on like who to arrest. So there's it's multiple levels of a game, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's a solid game. It really is.
Yeah, there was a lot more to it than I thought there was going to be. I think I was more expecting just kind of like you were just running down rosters and sending out units, and you weren't
like Football Manager or something like that.
Something like that.
No, it was really good. So I mean, I enjoyed it. So I think we're going to stream it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that would be a cool one to stream again.
There's another one called The Beat or Cop Beat, Beat Cop.
Yeah, I think it's
Beat
called
Cop.
Beat Cop.
Beat Cop.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I just know that it has a donut on this in the front. Which
that one was just on sale, right? Because I think I got an email about that.
Yeah, it recently was. Who was it that was Bat Dizzle the one that recommended that? Or,
I believe
or Camp Micro?
So it was either Bat Dizzle, Camp Micro, or Steel. I want to say it was either Bat Dizzle or Camp Micro though, because I don't think we've seen Steel in a while.
Those are some of our.
He's been off on the Destiny like a madman.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, so it was some guys that join us regularly on Twitch. They were hanging out and they recommended we play this, and I've had it for a long time, and I just never bothered playing it because I didn't think it was gonna be very fun, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, we just bluntly were like, "Hey, what do you guys want to see us play?" And
well, because we were trying to play Are You Afraid of the Dark, and that was awful.
Oh, it's so bad.
I forgot we played that until just now.
Yeah, I think it was broken, honestly, and it was hard for me to hear what was going on. And there's just this Dr. Orfeo guy or whatever, and he was just creeping. He was just like a pedophile, and he's like, "Come into my magic shop, come down my trap door." And everybody's like, "What? No, I don't think I want to do that." And he's like, "Yes, you do.
I'm the Trap King."
But then he just like opens the door, and it's actually just like a bunch of mannequin heads down there, like it's Al Snow's back room in his garage. It's super weird.
Yeah,
I don't know what's happening.
That was
a wrestling joke.
Nobody's
welcome. Yeah.
And then I also played the last game I played is a game called Offensive Combat Redo.
Yay!
So we played this together, Matt, and I reviewed it. So if you guys want to read the review, it's over on NerdLife. This was a game, and that's as far as I can take it.
It sure was a game. So if you ever wanted to play the most generic shooter of all time, the most forgettable, generic, just like whatever.
Online deathmatch shooter. So basically it was like a really bad version of
like Unreal Tournament or
it's
something like that.
Yeah, or Quake.
There you go.
So
yeah, Quake.
Let's take Quake. We'll give it some a little bit better graphics, and then skin it with like just some goofy characters, lots of like butt and dick jokes, and aliens.
Yes,
that was the game, and there's nothing to it. Like there's some like progression, the fact that you can like level up your weapons and you can like buy different like parts for your person's body, and they had the right intentions, I think, with the game, especially since all of the in-game purchases you couldn't purchase with real money. That made me so excited that a developer was finally like, "Hey, we're not going to nickel and dime you. Okay, we're not going to be like Ubisoft."
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of back in like the 90s when you had like a Half-Life mod, like Pirates, Vikings, and Knights, or if you remember the original Counter-Strike, where it was just like a mod of a much better game.
Yeah, it did. It came across that way, and the original game may have been a mod for something, and then they just built a standalone.
Right.
It kind of came across to me as like just a bad version of like Team Fortress.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe it.
Yeah, so if you like Team Fortress, you'll probably like it, and if you can convince a couple of friends to buy it, it would probably be a cool, sit down and wait while the real game you want to play is updating. Like, yeah, that's what this game is. It's not bad. That's the thing. It's like the controls were really solid and the graphics weren't awful. I mean, the gameplay was fluid. It had so much potential, but there was just like beyond that, like the actual game, there's nothing to it. And it was
1,000,000% forgettable.
It was like I had to look up before we did this. I had to look up what the name of the game was, and I just played it like last week. So I mean, I played that. It was a game. I ain't mad at it.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like we played it for a while too. I mean, I think we played it for like 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah. And we sat through it. We played it. We unlocked some skins. We unlocked some weapons. We hung out. We joined a few games. Joining games took a lot longer than it should have.
I think that's just because it's a really new game, though.
Yeah, controls were good. Everything was kind of really fluid, but it was generic in every way possible, and there was no reason for us to ever play it again. And again, if you want to read the article about that, there's a more in-depth article written that, I mean, this is a short summary, but If you want to read the whole article, head over to nerdlifetx.com and you can see what Sean wrote about it over there. So that's fun. All right. So does that bring us to me then?
What'd you play? What an awful game did you play?
Sweet. So I'm going to run down this as quick as I can because I want to give our topic a chance here. So I played MTV's Club Dead, which I played on stream last week, like midweek, I want to say like Wednesday or something.
Is that an FMV game?
Yeah, it was god-awful.
Okay.
It was
as expected.
Yeah, but like some FMV games that are bad are funny bad.
Night Trap.
But yeah, exactly. But this is not one of those. This is like one of those games where they're talking about virtual reality is a drug, man. And
Like,
it's
so like
super,
Johnny Mnemonic?
Yeah. Okay. Imagine if Johnny Mnemonic was just put together by your high college roommate, just in his dorm room.
I love Johnny Mnemonic, and that's like one of my favorite movies growing up. I went and saw it with my dad like 3 times.
Right. Yeah. No, Johnny Mnemonic is great, but not if it's made by a high college kid. It's not
Okay.
good. It's no fun. Imagine Puck made it.
Oh, God.
Like that's exactly what it is. So for you youngins, there's the real world, right?
Yeah.
And Puck was the guy that was in the real world, and he was just the biggest asshole on the planet. Nobody liked him. And I don't know if he got kicked out of the house or what, but he was famous for just being the biggest
Didn't
piece
he
of shit.
like punched somebody in the face, I think, like a lady.
They all punch everybody in the face. I don't know. Jersey Shore, something. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The
But
Miz
imagine
never
if that-
punched anybody in the face.
Imagine if the grossest person you've ever met drank the grossest beers you've ever seen and then smoked the dirtiest weed you could ever find. And then they were just like, I'm gonna make a movie. And then they just made a movie in their bedroom. And then they took it to your other friend who had like 2 credit hours in game making. It was just like, well, I can make like a menu. And they were like, great, cut my movie up, put a menu on it. That's the game.
That's the whole game.
Yeah, there's no gameplay. It's literally just like you're in a hotel and you're some sort of virtual reality plumber is what you call yourself. But essentially, your job is to like fix things that are broken in the virtual reality world. Or in this
That sounds
weird
like a
digital
technician.
That's all it is. Yeah, man.
This is help desk simulators. What this is?
Yes. So all you have to do is be on the right floor of the hotel at the right time. That's all it is. And then stuff happens if you're there. And there are things like you have an inventory where you can hold something in an inventory slot and then the character might react. But I only had a character react one time and that ended up getting me a game over. Every other time, nobody gave a shit what was in my hands. It was dumb. It was stupid. There was no explanation for anything. Everybody's using really cool 90s talk. It was a stupid game. It was dumb. The FMV is kind of funny, but like if you want to experience that game and what I'm telling you sounds like a good time, just literally go on YouTube and find somebody who has supercut all the video together and just watch that instead. That would be much more fun than playing this game. So that's horrible. So then Sean and I played a bunch of free games. I'm going to skip a couple of them just for time's sake, but the one I really want to talk about because I really would like to see it succeed is Drop Zone. Now, Drop Zone is amazing, and Nick, you are going to love this. So Drop Zone is a mech MOBA where it can be played 2 different ways. So it can either be played as a MOBA where you've got 2 teams of 3, and everybody controls their one mech that has their one job, and all the mechs are customizable, so you can earn parts. You know, I can change out my weapons on my mech, or I can change the color, or I can change my turret system, or how far I can see, or whatever by parts I can earn by playing the game. Right?
Oh yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's super sweet. It's so good. So, you've got all these really cool things in it. Or, and this is the cool part, you can play one person controls all 3 tanks, and then it plays like an RTS. It's super, super cool, man. And
yeah, it's crazy.
Yes. Now, herein lies the problem. It is super, super new, and like nobody is playing it. Like I was talking to one of the developers in the all chat.
Just like answer people's questions.
Yeah. So I'm going to put the call out right now. If anybody's into like mech games or MOBAs that's listening to this right now and is willing to play Drop Zone, I would like to get 2 teams of 3 together and stream a match because I would really like to see this game take off. It looks great. The characters are really cool. Each tank is super different. There's loot boxes in it. We didn't find anything where it was begging for us to pay real money. Like, we had a great time. Sean and I, unfortunately, we could only play bot matches, but we just cranked the bots way up. And they did pose a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, we had 2 medium bots and 1 like hard, and they almost beat our asses. So,
my absolute favorite part of that game was the fact that the level of customization for your mech. So
it's insane.
Like you get your loot boxes, and you might get like different guns for one mech, or you'll get like boosters for another mech, and you have all these different ways that you can mix and match and customize. Like, I started off with this, the basic mech, and he had like these cluster rockets and just normal like gun, like a machine gun. And I went through a couple of loot boxes, and I ended up getting like these crazy like electricity cannons, and I had these like super like boosters, and and then like you have I had an ult that like was automatically triggered when my health was low, and whenever I did that, it shoots out this like EMP, and it disables everything for like 5 seconds around me so I can get away. Dude, it was so awesome. I loved it. And there's a bunch of different characters you can play. Was there like 8? Was there 8 or 9 characters?
Yeah, I think it was 9. I think it was.
So it doesn't sound like a lot, but the fact that you can customize like all the little aspects of it and really make it your own character, it made the game awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was really, really good. And unlike a normal MOBA, the points that you were trying to capture in this one, it has to do with collecting these like cores that you can go pick up. And the cores are protected by essentially these giant sandworms. And your team has to team up to kill the sandworms while defending against the other team who is also trying to kill the sandworms. But every time you kill a sandworm, because the games last for 15 minutes, it's a continuous game for 15 minutes. Just getting 1 point doesn't make you win. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 15 minutes wins.
It's like a basketball game.
Yeah. And every sandworm that you kill, when it regenerates in that spot, it's like twice as strong. And it can create
evolves.
bigger. Yeah, it's crazy. It can create like bigger minions to defend itself and stuff.
Oh, man.
Crazy. It is craziness. It is so fun.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Like, your base doesn't spawn creeps. It's these points, these worms spawn the creeps, and they don't fight for anyone. They fight to protect the core. So it's a neat kind of like, all the points are neutral, and you just have to keep going trying to capture all the points.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it rules. So, Nick, I highly recommend that. And it's free. That's the perfect price. So anybody who's out there that wants to play with us, let us know, please, because we would love to get a couple of teams together. And if we get enough people, it'd be sweet to do like a tournament style play. Just get like a couple of teams of 3 together. Because I know Wolfman Musselford would play with us, and Corey would probably play. So I think that'd be good. So definitely check that game out. The one last game I want to talk about before we get into our topic, because we're kind of winding down on time here, is I played a game called Otogi 2 on my original Xbox. Now, what this game is it was actually made by From Software, who are the guys who make Dark Souls, Demon Soul, Bloodborne, all that stuff.
Armored Core.
Yes, this game is bonkers as hell. So you've got like these 5 gods, right? And there's a story. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's super, super Asian. It's super Asian. Kind of like Demon Souls and Dark Souls. Those are super steeped in like Japanese mythology and stuff. But this game, it was produced, I believe, by Sega. And it breaks down sort of like an arcade game where you select which area on the map you want to go into. And then there's like an arcade segment with like an intro video and an outro video that tell you how you did. And then they grade you on every map. So you've got these like 4 or 5 gods you can pick from to go into the map. And they're crazy. One guy's got like a cheetah head, and he's got like a sword that's got points on both ends. One lady is just a lady with a scythe. One lady shoots a bunch of magic out of her fingers. One guy is just literally like, he's just like a tube, and he just has a ship wheel on his back that you can just throw at people. It's crazy. There's just crazy stuff happening everywhere. And you're fighting. Each map has different enemies, which is cool. And it's a 3D like action fighter kind of. And you can earn things by destroying buildings and killing enemies to upgrade your characters, to give them new weapons or new abilities or new whatever. It's super cool. It's super customizable. It's super neat. You can play whatever character. You get to pick what character you want to play, and some characters are better suited for certain enemies. because enemies might be like, oh, this is a fire enemy, so you want to pick somebody who's good at resisting fire. But you pick your character before the match starts, and then you play through the map. It's super cool. It keeps track of all kinds of things. Like if you blow up too many like buildings, they take points off because it was somebody's house or whatever, and you're supposed to be the good guy. But you can go back up through and play them as many times as you want. The maps I played so far, one was a bunch of spider guys. It was just giant spiders, which was sweet, and they just spit fire at you. It was awesome. And the other one was spirits. They looked like little pieces of paper with arms. They're just all floating around like blah, 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 blah. They sound like putties from Power Rangers, just hanging out. But it was pretty sweet. So and then you fight all them, and you kill everything in the certain area. So it tells you how many enemies are left, and you have to kill all the enemies. So it's very arcadey. But it's also really awesome. I mean, I sat there and played it. I was getting my ass handed to me. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I suck at it. I was getting my ass handed to me because I'm not good at those arcade style like action games. You know that. You've seen me play a few of them.
Right.
I was having a great time. I played for hours, man. I
think that's a little bit different with arcade games, though. Like arcade style games you do suck, but it's still really, the game is designed to be enjoyable, even though you were doing terrible.
Right. They really, really, really want you to keep
pumping in the money.
That's right.
Yeah,
exactly.
just reset and go.
So, but yeah, that was the only other game I really wanted to talk about. Sean and I played a couple other free ones. We played Uniworld and On Raid. On Raid, I can't recommend. It is sort of like Awesome Knots with all the fun stripped out of it.
Yeah, I wanted to play Awesome Knots when I was playing it.
Yeah, and then,
that's always good.
Oh,
Uniworld is a unique MOBA, but it was designed to be a mobile app for Android. But essentially, it's a combination of a tower defense game and a MOBA.
It didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, it was a lot to take in, but if you're interested in that, you can try those two.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, we're going to take a break, and then we are going to go into our topic, so hang on.
Yo, everybody get up! Everybody get up! Everybody needs to understand that I'm more than simply a hype man for this rap group, just like Geico is more than just a company that can save you money. Geico also has fast and friendly claim service, so they can help you when you need it most. And while I do love being a hype man, I also love reading for children's audiobooks. Like Little Bo Peep, she lost the sheep, and she don't know where to find them. Yo!
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
We are back. Okay, so I'm going to apologize in advance. Sean and I got a really awesome message from somebody that we met at Geek Fest. And he had mentioned that he would like to hear us talk about games that sucked when they came out, but then they kind of got good or they got better later on. He kind of based this on what Dave O'Banjo was talking about in our live podcast, which was our last episode. So if you missed that, the last episode was a live show. So definitely check that out and let us know what you think of that, because we would like to do more live speaking engagements if possible in the future. So if you like it, let us know so we know to do more of them. But we couldn't remember your name, so I'm really, really sorry. If you were the one that brought this topic up, definitely tweet us so we know it was you, and we'll throw a free Steam key your way or something, just to kind of say thank you, because we listen when you guys send us messages and stuff. It's just we get a lot of messages. I don't have access to the Twitter account. I didn't realize how many messages we get, and Sean's like, dude, we get like hundreds of messages a day. I'm like, oh, but if you sent this in, we appreciate it. Let us know who you are so we can reach out to you and maybe send you a Steam key or send you something fun just to thank you for the idea for this episode. So, all right. So, guys, do you have any games that sucked when they came out that kind of got better or the developer changed up over time? I know No Man's Sky is one that he mentioned specifically, the guy who sent us the Twitter message.
I never played that game.
Yeah,
I didn't either, because here's the thing with me. This is going to be a hard one for me because we talked about this beforehand. I don't play games when they're new on purpose. I get burned very, very rarely, and once I do get burned by games like, I don't know, Friday the 13th, I stop playing them.
Oh, God, I know.
Because once you burn me, I'm done with you. You don't get a chance to come back and make it up. But I know that
you ain't going to get double fucked.
Right, yeah, no. I'm not going to go, please, sir, can I have another just for you to put your balls on my face? I ain't trying to get that. So, we kind of thought, a few more kind of games I think in the realm of what he was thinking of was maybe something like Evolve, where they went back in and redid it, kind of like oops, we're sorry, we messed it up.
But it was too late.
It was, yeah. See, they never even got to make their changes on the consoles. I think it was only ever done on the PC version, which is crazy. Yeah. So that would actually be a fun one. We should try and stream that one time just to see what kind of horrible mess.
So we would be the only people playing it in the whole.
Right, it would just be you and me and Nick.
Yeah.
He doesn't play with us because he only plays Forever Alones.
True story.
Okay, so Sean, what
Yes.
you think of any games that would fall into this category?
So I might catch some shit for this, but the game that I would say for me personally, they made a lot of mistakes when they launched the game, and then they rectified them, and they didn't re-release the game, but they did make the changes, and then eventually by like version like 2.0 of the game, it was really good, and that would have to be Diablo 3 for me. I think Blizzard had really good intentions at the beginning, and they were just reaching for the stars, and they crashed really hard, and they immediately realized, hey, we need to fix this. And by the first once the first couple of updates are out, they fixed things like they pulled the auction house because that was just cancerous for all that, and they went in and they fixed how the game actually played, and they balanced a lot of the characters, and they added a lot of new content, and it was a completely different game once 2.0 was out.
Yeah, I remember the biggest thing that they changed that I remember was the load times. Their servers got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, I didn't even get to play it.
Right. And I think that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. And I barely remember vanilla D3. I barely remember it. When you and I played it a couple months ago when we were playing, I was like, man, this isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's a good game now. It's an enjoyable game.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not Diablo 2. It's still not that customized.
And we've talked about that it's never, there's no game was going to be Diablo 2. If you want to play Diablo 2, there's a lot of there's a lot of other games that I think did that style a lot better than Diablo 3 did. Like Path of Exile. Like if you want to play like Diablo 2.5, you need to play Path of Exile. If you want to play the next game in the Diablo kind of canon, then Diablo 3. That's why you play it, not because you want to play Diablo 2 again. I wish it would have been. I wish it would have been closer to that, but Blizzard, that was during their whole like restructuring to be more accessible by more gamers, not just like hardcore gamers. So I think that was the biggest stumbling block in my opinion that really hurt that game, was the fact that they had bigger dreams for it than I think everyone wanted. Everybody really, they just wanted to play more Diablo 2, like Diablo 2 with more characters and more levels and look better.
And a new character literally just came out for Diablo 3, like 2 months ago?
The Necromancer. Which you had to pay for it, but I think Blizzard did the right thing here. Is they actually gave you a lot of stuff, so you weren't just like, oh, I'm buying this character for $5. I don't remember how much. I think it was like $10, but you got the character. They added a bunch of new quests for it. They added a bunch of new gear, and then as per Blizzard, they gave you stuff for their other games as well. So you got a good amount of stuff. Oh, and you got an extra tab in your treasure chest as well. And some games like Path of Exile, I think it's like $10 in Path of Exile for an extra tab in your treasure chest.
Right.
So I mean, Diablo 3, the new, it's kind of an expansion. It's kind of not. Whatever you want to call it, the new character pack, it was totally worth it.
It's like an expansion light.
Yeah, it didn't. It wasn't a full on like the Reaper of Souls. It wasn't like a full expansion like that, because that really, really changed the whole game. But
that was also $30.
$30, yes, full price, a full price expansion. Yeah. But the Necromancer pack, it was worth it, and they did a lot of really cool stuff with it.
It was $15 actually.
$15, yeah. So even at $15, I still think it was worth it.
I picked it up on June 30th.
Okay.
I think it was worth. They did add a lot to it. And yeah, going back to like vanilla Diablo 3. I actually had a friend over, bought a copy for myself and my wife, and it sucked because that whole night we could not connect. Like,
dude,
we got together.
Launch day was so bad.
Oh, it was hell.
They were not prepared, which is surprising to me when they're used to handling how many millions of people that play World of Warcraft, and they botched the launch of which. One of the things that I think one of the reasons was if you went to BlizzCon it's if you prepaid for a year of World of Warcraft or you made an agreement that said you would play for a year, then they gave you Diablo 3 on launch day for free. It was something like that.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the ways that they really like boosted how many people actually had the game. And I think that maybe they weren't anticipating having that many people or something, but I don't know. Blizzard has traditionally been really good with releases of expansions, patches, and new games. Like Overwatch. Like when they launched Overwatch, I don't remember a single issue with it.
Yeah.
I'd never heard that before you just told me that.
What?
That they gave it free for doing X, Y, or Z?
Yeah, Diablo 3 was given away for I don't remember what it was, but there was a reason that they gave it away for free.
That's really weird to me. I guess it makes sense.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, if you're paying $15 a month and you pay, like, let's say you prepay for like a 1-year subscription to WoW or something like that, they still are making money.
Money is money, and if they were just trying to, if we can get you playing 2 games for the price of 1,
right?
Get you in for that long haul.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense. So. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely been strides made in the Diablo, the D3 universe to make it a better game. The multiplayer experience is definitely better. They added the adventure mode, that kind of stuff that did make a big difference in the game. I mean, granted, you're paying for that difference. It's not like they did it out of the kindness of their heart. A lot of that stuff comes with an expansion pack, but still.
And to be fair, like they had that server situation figured out. The following weekend, I had 5 people over, and we did it up right that weekend, and we actually ended up beating the game. So they did do it right that way.
Okay, cool. Nick, what about you? Do you have a game like that you want to talk about?
I do, and actually, the funny thing is, it has its roots in Blizzard and Diablo a little bit. Back in 2007, a game came out by Flagship Studios. Which was helmed by Bill Roper, and he is actually one of the original designers who worked on Blackthorn, Warcraft 1 and 2, the original Diablo, StarCraft, and Brood War. I think he actually had something to do with Diablo 2 and Warcraft 3 also. Anyhow, the game is Hellgate London. Anybody remember that?
Yeah, show me videos of that game. It looked crazy as hell. I actually tried to see if there was anybody running private servers still, and there's not, unfortunately.
It was Blizzard North, right? That developed it?
No, it wasn't. He used to be part of Blizzard North, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and he left Blizzard because they weren't working on the new Diablo title yet, Diablo 3, and he was ready to make a Diablo-esque game. So he formed his own studio, Flagship Studios, and ended up coming up with Hellgate London, which was kind of like a third person.
Well, no, it's first person, wasn't it?
You can zoom into first person,
okay.
But typically you're looking at your character third person, so you can see your armor and everything else.
Right.
But it was kind of an over the shoulder type thing,
like isometric, sort of.
No, not even isometric. Like you're in a 3D world. More think Resident Evil 4.
Okay, I have the game somewhere here. I remember playing it. Like it was like, oh, this is Diablo with guns in the future.
Yeah,
but I didn't obviously invest very much time in it.
So yeah, when it first came out, I was really excited because this guy had history with Diablo, and I loved Diablo 2. So when it first came out, we actually, me and a friend of mine bought like the collector's edition, which came in this absolutely ridiculously large box. So PC games used to come in the big box PC game, like boxes, you know? This thing was like, I don't know, it was like probably like 20, 22 inches tall.
Oh, God.
It was ridiculous. It didn't fit on a shelf. It was huge. And then ultimately it had like a DVD case on. Anyhow, when the game first came out, it was buggy as hell. I tried so hard to enjoy myself. You got like 2 months for free, and then they wanted to start charging you $15 a month. So I played the first 2 months, and I'm like, I can't. It's so broken. I couldn't. So I gave it about a year, and then they had this like free month if you get back into the game because they had lost so many players right at the get-go.
Yeah.
So we started playing again, and it actually was a little bit better. So I continued playing, and there was some sort of deal. I don't remember what it was, but it didn't end up that you were paying $15 a month anymore. I think you could get like 6 months for $30 or some sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember paying for something like that. And me and a friend of mine, Joe, I think my wife actually played with us for a little bit. We had a good time. You could choose between like Templars, there were Kabbalists, and Hunters. So there's these different classes that you could choose. You had different weapons for each one of the classes, like completely different loadouts that you can do, different styles. Like, if I remember right, I think Joe was choosing the Templar, and it had these crazy moves where dual wielding swords, and you could jump into a character, and it even if you were first person, it would switch to third person, and you would watch your character like flip over the enemies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, but it was all like randomly generated maps. So every time you went into a map, it would be in between you and your party, and it was a little bit different each time. It was an enjoyable game.
From what you showed me, it looked bonkers as hell too. There's just like explosions and shit flying everywhere, and it was like this weird 3D view. The only thing was, to me, it looked a little stiff.
It was.
Yeah.
The animation was.
There's that weird 3D where the camera's kind of locked with this blocky thing in the center.
Mm-hmm.
But the age of the game itself and, all that. But yeah, I would like to try that game someday. I'm wondering it. Like I said, I looked immediately after you and I talked to see if there was any like private servers still up. And it looked like at some point, like 2 years ago, maybe some guy was talking about turning one up in a forum.
Yeah, they had. So the weird thing about it was they ran out of money really quickly. Flagship Studios.
Imagine that.
Yeah, like as they were building the game, they ran into this problem. So like it was like Namco Bandai or something like that was the publisher.
Who? No, just kidding.
It was all kinds of weird. Like they sold off rights to like EA, Namco Bandai, and then some Korean company. I don't remember what they were, some holding company. So technically 3 different companies owned the rights to this, and Flagship no longer basically did once it was released.
Mm-hmm.
So once it stopped basically making any sort of money, those 2 companies, they kept kind of trading who owned the rights to the IP. So throughout the years, like the Korean company took it over, and it became like a big thing in Korea for a little bit. It actually had a good life there. And then once it was dropped there, somebody started up something in like Japan or something like that. And a lot of people from around the world started connecting to those servers. And that was like back in like 2014, I think it was. Last I looked, that server, or that cluster of servers went down in 2016. I don't think anyone's done anything with it since. So
they're just gone forever. Everything is dead.
It may actually be. I'm hoping someday, like a private server turns up and I could get back on it, because it would just be fun revisiting. But yeah, that game, it started off broke as hell. I didn't enjoy it at all. I did go back about a year later, and a lot of the problems that I had were fixed, and I had a whole lot of fun with the game at that point in time. So I would definitely say Hellgate London would be one of those games, and I wish it would be one of those games that say, go try it. But as it sits right now, that's not really an option.
Yeah, there's nothing to go try.
Yes. Unless somebody knows of something, let us know.
Yeah,
That
if
would
you,
be
if
fun
you,
as
if you
hell to
know,
stream.
hell, if you know anything about that game, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So mine's probably going to be a little shorter than yours because mine is actually a relatively new game.
Okay.
The Division.
Oh.
Which, yeah, that's everybody's response. But again, okay, so here's the deal with the Division and me personally. I didn't play the Division when it first came out. I started the Division last year.
Me too.
When the Division came out, or when I played it last year, I paid $9 for the game on PS4. So I got a $9
They just gave
copy.
it to you.
Yeah, they basically gave it away to me. And I think the Pyro expansion was getting ready to come out, and it was supposed to be like $30. I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm giving you $30 for this. You're out of your mind." They learned their lesson in that it was season 2, which just started up. It actually I think just last week, the new it'll be 2 weeks when this comes out. The newest expansion just came out, and it's free. It's totally free. There's free updates. There's better weapons. There's expansions to certain sections of maps. There's weapons in multiplayer. There's XP boosts and XP adjustments on certain enemies and difficulty adjustment. It's like a legit expansion, and it just came out for free.
Well, it's because they were like hemorrhaging players.
Yeah, but they haven't gone that route with For Honor yet.
Not yet. Give it some time, sir.
It's getting there though. For Honor is bad, man.
I haven't played it. Last time I played it was when you and I played it that night.
And that right there is what happens when I come up against a game. So this was a hard one for me to talk about because when I come up against a game that screws me over like that, I won't play it again. I just won't because I have that bad taste in my mouth. Like, well, fuck you too then. Right? You don't care enough to keep this thing working right? Then I don't care enough to play it, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming from with it. I'm going to go back and give Friday the 13th another shot because I hear it's less wonky now, but they are still getting ripped apart on their Facebook page.
Well, they did a really bad job handling it.
Yeah, I mean, as a company, they did a bad job handling it, but so did No Man's Sky. And now everybody's talking about how great the expansion is. There's all these animals. There's all this shit to do. And still nobody's playing it because you done shot yourself in the foot already. Everybody's done, man. Nobody wants to play with you anymore.
When you overpromise and then when the game comes out, all those features aren't in there and people start proving it out that they're not in there and you are silent for months, you deserve to die on the vine. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, yeah. And nobody's going to stop back by later and be like, man, I wonder if this is better now. Yeah. No, nobody's doing that. Nobody.
If it shows up on a Steam sale and I could pay like $bucks to just experiencing it, maybe. You know what I mean?
Right. But once you get to that point, it's so far down the road. It's hard to come back.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If you look at some of, for example, these MMOs that are all going free to play now, that's a great example because they don't do that shit until they're so far down the road they're almost at the end of life, right? Look at the ones.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, a lot of the ones that still have an active community are, ones that you still pay for. WoW still has an active community, and level 20 is free, but you still have to pay for it because they're still developing for it. It's still becoming a new thing. And I think that's another game that you could look at, contrary to my point from the last episode. That's another game that if you played it once and you kind of liked it, try it now. It's going to blow your mind, the differences that have happened in that game.
Absolutely. They're different games, completely different games.
Right. Yeah. For me, it doesn't make enough of a difference, but for somebody out there, you're going to love it. You're going to fall in love with that game because of the changes that have been being made. And I think it is important that companies can go back and adapt and fix their mistakes. I think the unfortunate thing is that the pretty standard thing is not to fix your mistakes. It's just to be like, you're wrong. You're wrong. Don't plug your Xbox in on the internet
and make a new one.
Yeah. Like they have a refusal to go back and admit they made a mistake or to help or to make things better. And unfortunately, that's partially our fault too, because as a fan community, you can even tell a lot of fans are like, well, give me something free then. Like, bitch, no, I'm not giving you anything for free.
Well, I will say, like, as MMOs that kind of like, oh, we're broken, so we'll make it free now.
Right.
Somebody that actually did a lot better after they moved to a free-to-play kind of format was Star Wars.
I've heard that that game is okay.
Micah and I played it like it wasn't when it first came out, but it was when it was still a premium game, and they were doing like a free weekend, and we played it, and it was a pretty fun game. I've seen Star Wars, but I wouldn't say like I'm a Star Wars fan by any stretch of the imagination.
Sean hates Star Wars.
I don't hate it. I just don't like. I can't get into it, and I always joke around with Ricky because people who've actually paid attention to the website or seen what we post on like Twitter and Facebook and stuff is I'm a big like Funko collector. I love Pops, but the one thing I could care less about that everybody tends to like shit their pants over is like Star Wars Pops, and I just don't care about them, but I played the MMO, and the MMO actually kind of made me interested in the game. And I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're saying that that recently they have overhauled a lot of stuff, and they've made the game, I want to say playable, but it was playable when I played it, but they made it a lot better.
Well, they did a whole. I mean, that game is kind of like WoW in that it's not even the same game. Like the story is not even. The story progresses. It's not even the same story anymore. So that's the part that blows my mind. Is that they're still developing it like that, and it's free. So you pile free on top of that. I'm there, man. ESO just went free not that long ago, and that definitely is a game that's worth giving another look at because a lot of the janky stuff that when it first came out didn't work right, or the clunkiness of the interfaces is gone now. So that's definitely worth, and that's a great example of something that is free now, but I still pay for it because I like it enough that I give them money to continue to get more out of it.
Right.
So I think those are all pretty good examples of games that I think the takeaway is that even if you make a mistake at launch, you can still drive through. You can move forward. So, all right. Does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about before we sign off?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Nope. No butts. No nothing.
Ain't no butts here.
Ain't no butts. Sandwich. Ain't no butts. Okay. So, all right. If you liked our dumb voices, you want to hear more of what we do, you want to listen to our other podcasts, etc., make sure you go to nerdlifetx.com. That's where you'll find everything we do. We are still working through our slew of new writers. We had a bunch of people that wanted to write for us. So I think Nick is actually editing one of the articles currently, correct?
That is correct.
So, yeah. So we should have some articles up again from some new writers here coming up this week. We got a few trailers that I would like to get posted, actually. And that couples with something else, another announcement I'm going to make here in a minute. Yeah, so make sure you check the site out. Make sure you go to t-shirts.pizza and you pick up some sweet-ass shirts with our dumb faces on them. And if you don't like that, get one with a sweet skull or with Sean's kids' favorite quotes on it. Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I'm actually wearing the sweet skull shirt right now.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, I ordered what we also have the official Wolfman Muscleford t-shirt up there now.
Oh, the muscle shirt.
Yeah, so I think I ordered one of those. I ordered 2 shirts right after I got back from the convention. I don't know what 2 I ordered, but
I don't know.
I don't have to look. But yeah, I ordered some shirts, so I should be getting some new shirts here pretty soon. I'm going to basically exclusively wear WWE t-shirts and our own t-shirts. So
why would you own anything else?
That's right. Because I just wanted to epitomize me as a person. I just got a gray shirt, I got a Vince McMahon shirt, and then I just have my website shirt with my own face on it. That sums me up as a human. Okay, so I got that going on. All right, Sean, where could people find you, what you do, and announcies, whatever you do?
I do nothing. People can feel free to find me on Twitter at GWS Rancor. I never check my Twitter, but it's there. You can follow us on everything else at NerdLifeTX and read about all the cool things that we like.
Yes.
That's the end of the story.
All of it is there. Go there. Give us the things.
Go there to the things, please.
Go there to the yes. Get them hits, son. It's like Punch Buggy with your brother. Get them hits. Swag, 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 swag.
I got no brother.
It's like Punch Buggy with a stranger on the bus who doesn't know you're playing.
So just me punching old people.
Yeah. You just wait till you get to a bus stop and you sucker punch them and run off.
I don't like that game.
She doesn't like it when you do that, Matt.
Right. Yeah. What? So, okay, cool. Nick, where can people find you and what you do?
I'm Zero Ping. I'm Z3R0PNG on all the Facebooks and the Twitters. If you have any interest in being in the Gamer Stories podcast, or if you have any interest in doing any writing, please reach out to me on Twitter and I'll get back to you.
Awesome. I am Nitro Weasel 3K, and you can find me as such on just about everything. Instagram, the Tumblrs.
You have a Tumblr?
Yeah. It's really just reposts of things that go to my Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah, I know. We do too for the website, but I never log into it.
All of my shit just gets copied there. I don't know. I don't even know how to use it. I don't know. I has the dumb, you kids with your social medias and your internet sales and your eBays. I don't understand. Sounds like a wash tub. eBay. I assume that's where you put your dirty clothes on the internet.
In the eBay?
In the eBay. The body of water online. So you can follow me on all the things. I'm actually resurrecting my Nerds at Drive-Ins podcast. I had some people reach out to me from the convention that are interested in being guests, which is awesome. So, because the biggest problem I have is that if my guests consist just of Sean and Nick, there's no reason for me to continue having those same two guests over and over again, because I could just have the same conversations here. So I finally have some guests booked. I have one guy who's really excited to jump on, and I'm gonna have him pick his movie out here. Probably, I'm thinking like next week, and we'll probably record something within the next week or so. So that'll be neat. Also, I'm actually thinking about expanding out here and ordering some more wrestling stuff, and maybe starting to do some reviews for that. We also have some exciting stuff coming up with Sean. He got a box of goodies that I think would make a great video.
Actually, I got lots of boxes of goodies.
Right. Yeah. So he's got all the things. My Magic the Gathering unboxings are still coming. They're going to probably be a combination of things. If you're interested in Magic the Gathering at all, I bought 2 big old boxes that are like complete.
Like cases.
Yeah, like cases. And so I'm going to open a few packs. I'll probably split that between live streams on our Facebook, Instagram, and videos that are edited together in the standard version on our YouTube channel. So keep your eye out for that if you like Magic the Gathering. That would be cool. Other than that, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe wherever you're hearing this, especially if you're on a major podcast host like iTunes. If you give us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us, that really helps us out. It helps us grow the podcast. It helps other people find us. So
there's something I will say. We just... little side note about that. You can actually find the podcast now on TuneIn and on the iHeartRadio app.
Which is so cool. Being on the iHeartRadio app makes me feel like we're legit as hell.
I know. the last one I'm still waiting to hear back from is Spotify. So if for some reason you work at Spotify or know someone, I have put in an application and I want the podcast to be on Spotify because that's all I use and I want to listen to myself talk. So
we're gonna hashtag it Kendrick Lamar and butts. So that way it's in rotation on everybody's radio.
That's it. So yeah, we're like literally if you use some program to listen to podcasts, you can find us. I'm starting to put all the shows up on YouTube now too. So if you don't have a podcast machine, then you can just go on YouTube and listen to it. It usually goes up the day after this goes live. So it'll be on Sunday. It'll go up, or Monday. It'll be Monday that'll go up. So
yeah, but make a mixtape for your friends. Make a mixtape of all your favorite podcast jams. And
podcast jams.
Just call it Boner Jams 06. And leave it on the bus when you get off so somebody finds it. We need you to be like our guerrilla street team. It'll be sweet. So, all right.
Funny.
Great. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out through the commercial breaks and all that fun nonsense. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Later.
Hooray.
Woo!
We did it good.